At 42, Elvis Presley shocked everyone when he finally revealed the names of 6 bands he truly disliked. The world always saw him as kind, charming, and respectful, but behind closed doors, there were strong opinions he kept hidden. These were not just random dislikes. Each band reminded him of deep personal struggles, changing music trends, or even betrayal. Fans and insiders were surprised, as Elvis never openly attacked anyone. But in private conversations and rare interviews, the truth came out. The King of Rock had his reasons, and when you hear them, you might understand why he felt this way. Before we dive into video, please subscribe our channel. Elvis Presley's life looked perfect from the outside, but he was fighting many battles inside. He became famous very fast, and that kind of fame is hard to manage. He came from a poor family and worked hard to reach the top, but with success came pressure, stress, and loneliness. As he grew older, Elvis felt that people were using him. He did not trust many around him. His manager, Colonel Tom Parker, made many choices for him that he did not agree with, but Elvis stayed quiet because he was loyal. Elvis also had health problems. He suffered from insomnia, weight gain, and other issues that got worse with time. He started taking medicine to feel better, but that only made things harder. Many nights he felt trapped and helpless. He also struggled with the changes in music. New artists and bands were taking over, and the world seemed to forget how important he had been. He felt like the industry was moving on without him, and that made him bitter at times. Deep down, Elvis was a kind man who wanted love and respect. But the pressure to stay perfect hurt him. Behind the fame, money, and fans, there was a broken man who did not feel free. These struggles shaped the way he looked at other musicians, and some of them became the targets of his quiet anger. Now, we talk about 6 bands he disliked the most. Number 1. The Beatles. Elvis Presley had mixed feelings about the Beatles. In the beginning, he was curious and even impressed by their fame, but as time passed, he started to dislike them more and more. One reason was that the Beatles became so big, so fast, that many people forgot about Elvis. He was once the king of rock, but now people were calling the Beatles the biggest band in the world. That hurt him deep inside, even though he did not show it in public. Another reason Elvis disliked the Beatles was their lifestyle and attitude. He did not like that they used drugs openly and spoke against the government and the Vietnam War. Elvis believed music should bring people together, not cause problems or push dangerous ideas. In private, he even told President Richard Nixon that the Beatles were a bad influence on American youth. He believed their long hair, loud voices, and rebellious attitude were setting a bad example. Elvis also felt that the Beatles were changing music in a way that pushed him out. Their sound was new, different, and full of wild energy. Elvis liked clear lyrics, good rhythm, and meaningful songs. He felt their later music was too strange, too experimental, and hard to understand. Even though they respected Elvis and saw him as their hero, he did not return the same feelings. In the end, it was not just about music, it was personal. Elvis felt forgotten and replaced. He saw the Beatles as the symbol of a new world that did not include him anymore. Behind his smile, he was hurt, confused, and even angry. That is why he quietly held a strong dislike for the Beatles, even if he never said it loudly in public. Number 2. The Rolling Stones. Elvis Presley did not like the Rolling Stones for many reasons. At first, he thought they were copying him. He noticed that they were using some of the same styles he had started, like tight clothes, wild dance moves, and a mix of rock and blues music. But instead of giving him credit, they were getting all the attention. That made him feel like they had taken his crown without respect. Another thing that bothered Elvis was their bad boy image. He believed in being polite, clean, and respectful on stage. The Rolling Stones acted the opposite. Mick Jagger often danced in strange ways and made wild faces during concerts. Their songs sometimes had rude or adult themes, which Elvis did not like. He thought their music was too noisy and rough. Elvis loved smooth sounds and strong, emotional lyrics, not shouting or messy guitars. He also disliked their attitude off stage. The Rolling Stones often made fun of American culture and did not seem thankful for their success in the US. Elvis was proud of his country and its music, and he did not like when others made fun of it. He believed fame should come with respect and good behavior. Even though the Rolling Stones were big fans of Elvis and had said many nice things about him, he never truly accepted them. Deep inside, He saw them as part of a new kind of music world that he did not understand or agree with. He felt like they were wild, disrespectful, and not serious about music. That is why Elvis, the king of rock and roll, kept a cold distance from the Rolling Stones and never showed them much love, no matter how famous they became. Number 3. Led Zeppelin. Elvis Presley did not enjoy listening to Led Zeppelin. Their music was very different from the kind of songs he liked. Led Zeppelin was known for loud guitars, long songs, and powerful vocals. Elvis found their sound too heavy and aggressive. He believed music should touch the heart and have meaning. To him, Led Zeppelin's songs felt more like noise than real music. He once joked that it sounded like someone screaming into a microphone. Even though Led Zeppelin was very popular, Elvis could not connect with their style. He liked simple emotional songs with clear words and soft melodies. Led Zeppelin played a mix of hard rock and blues, but with so much energy and volume that it often felt chaotic to Elvis. He thought their music was confusing and lacked soul. Elvis also felt uncomfortable with their image. The band members had long hair, wore strange clothes, and were known for their wild behavior. They were part of the rock scene that included heavy drinking, drugs, and strange beliefs. Elvis had his own issues, but he still believed in class, order, and respect. He did not like how some new bands acted like rules did not matter anymore. Even though Robert Plant, the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, admired Elvis deeply and even met him once, Elvis stayed distant. He was polite during their meeting, but he did not enjoy their music. He did not say anything bad to their faces, but people close to him knew how he felt. To Elvis, Led Zeppelin represented a loud and wild side of rock and roll that he never wanted to be part of. That is why he quietly disliked them, even when others called them legends. Number 4. The Doors. Elvis Presley never liked The Doors. Their music was dark, deep, and sometimes strange, which was very different from what Elvis believed music should be. He thought songs should lift people up, make them smile, or touch their hearts. But when he listened to The Doors, he felt their music was filled with sadness, confusion, and even danger. Their lyrics often talked about death, drugs, and breaking rules, things Elvis did not want to promote through music. Elvis especially disliked Jim Morrison, the lead singer of The Doors. Jim had a strong voice and stage presence, but he was wild and unpredictable. He would often act strange on stage, screaming, falling, or saying shocking things. Elvis found this behavior disrespectful. He believed a true performer should entertain with class, not shock the audience just to get attention. Also, Elvis did not like the way The Doors dressed and behaved in public. They wore dark clothes, talked about rebellion, and seemed proud of their bad boy image. Elvis thought that kind of behavior was bad for young fans who might follow the wrong path. Even though he had his own problems in life, he always tried to protect his image and be a role model. Another reason Elvis disliked them was because their songs were hard to understand. The music was full of long solos and strange sounds, which made it difficult for him to connect. He liked clear melodies and simple words that told a story. To Elvis, The Doors were a symbol of a lost generation, young people who were angry, confused, and going down the wrong road. That is why he stayed far away from their music and never spoke highly of them. Number 5. Pink Floyd. Elvis Presley never understood the music of Pink Floyd. Their songs were long, slow, and filled with strange sounds that did not make sense to him. He liked music that had strong emotions, clear words, and a catchy rhythm. Pink Floyd, on the other hand, used spacey sounds, heavy effects, and deep, confusing lyrics. Elvis once said their music felt more like a science fiction movie than a song. He could not feel the heart or soul in it. Elvis was from an older time in music. He came from gospel, blues, and early rock and roll. Pink Floyd belonged to a new wave of music called psychedelic rock. This kind of music focused more on moods, feelings, and experiments rather than simple songs people could sing along to. Elvis did not enjoy that. He believed a song should tell a story that anyone could understand, not leave people scratching their heads. Another thing that bothered Elvis was how serious and cold Pink Floyd seemed. They rarely smiled, avoided interviews, and gave off a mysterious, distant vibe. Elvis liked artists who connected with fans and showed love and warmth. He found Pink Floyd too quiet, too strange, and too focused on being different just for the sake of it. Even though many people around the world loved Pink Floyd and called them geniuses, Elvis never became a fan. He did not say much about them in public, but those close to him knew his true feelings. To him, their music was empty, robotic, and hard to enjoy. That is why Elvis quietly disliked Pink Floyd. He respected talent, but he just could not understand or enjoy the kind of music they made. Number 6. The Sex Pistols. Elvis Presley had very strong feelings against the Sex Pistols. He truly disliked everything they stood for. Their music was loud, angry, and full of rebellion. They were one of the first punk rock bands, and they were proud of breaking all the rules. To Elvis, this was not music. It was just shouting and noise. He once said that bands like this were destroying the beauty of music. Elvis believed music should be about love, pain, and real feelings. The Sex Pistols sang about hating the government, fighting the system, and living wild. Their most famous song, God Save the Queen, was full of anger and disrespect. Elvis, who believed in showing respect to people and traditions, was shocked by this kind of behavior. He also did not like how they dressed and acted. The band wore torn clothes, messy hair, and safety pins in their faces. On stage, they often cursed, spit, and insulted the crowd. Elvis had always dressed sharp and acted with manners, even when he was performing. He thought the Sex Pistols were turning music into chaos and disrespect. To Elvis, the Sex Pistols were not just a band. They were a symbol of a broken culture. He felt sad to see young people cheering for this kind of music. He thought it was dangerous, not just for music, but for society. Even though the Sex Pistols did not target Elvis directly, he saw them as the complete opposite of everything he stood for. That is why, more than any other band, Elvis disliked the Sex Pistols. They made him feel like the world of music he loved and helped build was falling apart, one angry scream at a time. Elvis Presley was loved by millions, but deep inside, he had strong opinions about how music was changing. He watched as new bands took over the spotlight with loud sounds, strange behavior, and messages he could not support. From the Beatles to the Sex Pistols, each group made him feel more out of place in the music world he once ruled. Elvis never shared his full thoughts in public, but those close to him knew the truth. These 6 bands represented a shift he did not agree with, and they quietly became the ones he disliked the most.